to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
Hey guys, this is Jay. I'm doing your NXT review for December, the episode airing December 10th, 2024. It's been this Christmas season has just been so crazy. Concerts and shopping and of course work. Always work, because how are you going to pay for the concerts and shopping if you don't work? And it's just been nuts. And I haven't, this week I wasn't able to watch NXT live, so I had to kind of piece it together during work time. Don't tell my boss. I was watching it while doing work, or I was doing work while I was watching it. It depends on your perspective, I guess. Anyway. We're going to do the review for the December 10th episode of NXT on the CW. It was a solid show, but before I get into that, I wanted to just mention again, if you love our podcasts, if you love the WWE podcast, you're going to like it even more without commercials. You can do that on Apple Podcasts. You can do that on Patreon. Patreon is WWE Podcasts. And Apple Podcasts, like if you're listening to Apple Podcasts now, all you do is click the banner. You see it right there. There's the banner. Ad free. Click $5. Basically, less than the price of a cup of coffee these days. Because, depending on what kind of coffee you get, I guess if you say it's less than the price of a latte, 100%. $5 once a month. You get ad free. You don't have to worry about, being in the middle of a raucous review of a match that you love to watch, and then all of a sudden you have a commercial. So do that. Ad free. Patreon, Apple Podcasts, and don't forget we're also on Spotify too. Anyway, so let's talk about the episode. I'm gonna get my glasses because as you get older, you need help basically doing everything, including read. So we had NXT on 12/10. It was from the Performance Center in Winter Park, Florida. And we've got Vic Joseph, as always, and Booker T as your commentators. Mike Rome as your ring announcer. So, first thing we have a recap of... a full recap. It was nuts to bolts. A full recap of Deadline from Saturday night. And if you haven't heard it already, I did a review of Deadline. You can listen. You can look back up a little bit. You can find it. And we've got Julia coming out at the beginning after the recap of Iron Survivor, and Julia says, "I am the Iron Survivor, which means I'm going to do what I came here to do." Roxanne at New Year's Evil in LA, the beautiful Madness will become the NXT Women's Champion. And then Roxanne comes out, of course, and says, "Congratulations, Julia, you're the luckiest woman in the world to survive Deadline. And sure, you won, but in my opinion, I think Sol Ruca was the MVP. Heck, even Ren Sinclair, who spent most of the time in the penalty box, almost pulled it off. Zari and Stephanie, they didn't lose, they just ran out of time. You won, yeah, but unfortunately for you, you are not in my level. But I will give it to you and give it to you guys. On Saturday, the ladies once again prove why we have the best women's division in all of wrestling. Facts. But like I said, none of you guys are on my level, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Julia, especially not at the New Year's Evil, because I don't know if you forgot, but we've been here before. Yes, we have, and it was the same result as it was the same result as it been for the past year. Me holding my title in the air, reigning over the division, and at New Year's Evil, Newtown, same result. The beautiful man is falling short to the prodigy, and that's even if you make it to New Year's Eve in Los Angeles. And Julia says, oh yeah, how about we do this right now? She slams the microphone down, and let me tell you, one of my biggest pet peeves is these wrestlers just chucking microphones or slamming them on the ground. You're the people that throw microphones and slam them on the ground. These are the same people that don't buy microphones. If you've ever bought a microphone, I guess it's a little different for us because, it's a lot of money for, a good microphone is a lot of money. And, of course, WWE is going to have the best microphones, or what's the point? But if you've ever bought a microphone, you would never slam it down or really even toss it down. Sorry, that was an aside. So Cora Jade comes and says, yeah, I'm not too sure about that, Julia. I really don't know because I don't think you're going to make it to New Year's Eve because of us. And look, I know you think your best friend Stephanie is going to come out here to save you, but she can't. She won't because there's no question who did it. And then then we see Stephanie laid out on the floor in the backstage area. And then Julia hits Perez with a forearm smash. Jade clocks Julia with a kendo stick, and Perez and Jade gang up on Julia, and then Kalani Jordan comes out to make the save. Because why not? Why not? Stephanie's not available? Kalani Jordan. I think Kalani Jordan just feels like she's got to be the savior of everything that is anything. And that's how it ends. So basically, we're led to believe that Stephanie got beat up by Cora Jade's kendo stick, and it was out. And it was funny, the medical people were like, tell me where it hurts! Tell me where it hurts! I'm like, number one, she speaks primarily Spanish. Number two, she's writhing in pain. Like, just give her a second to breathe. I just thought it was funny the way. Not everybody can be award-winning Academy award-winning actors, I guess. Then you got Tony D'Angelo in the back, and he's telling Ethan Page to get over his loss at NXT Deadline. Page says he does. Now, if you remember, I don't remember, on Sunday, there was a vignette with Page basically saying, like during Deadline, it was basically saying he doesn't know how to get back to the title picture. And he's just being a lot of like humdrum, ho-hum kind of thing. Back on Saturday when he did this, I was concerned about what they were going to do with Ethan Page. I was actually concerned that they're going to turn him babyface because Ethan Page is the best heel. Just bar none. He's so good at being a heel. So anyway, Page says he doesn't know how to get back to the NXT title picture. Believe it or not, the Don has a soft spot for Page. And how about they have an NXT North American title match tonight? Page runs over his resume and how he ran this brand. And Page felt that the North American Championship is a step down for him. The Don decides to extend the offer to the rest of the roster. That makes Page change his mind and take the match. And Page says that if he can't beat the Don, then his career is practically over. Page needs this opportunity, and the Don tells Page that he'll see him out there. Then we got Lexis King doing some soul searching. He said he did some soul searching this weekend, and he wants another crack at the Heritage Cup Championship. Charlie Dempsey says that he'll think about it. And Charlie is extremely proud then. He talks to the No Cutter Catch crew. He's extremely proud of them and their prospective performances at Deadline. And they have a brief altercation with OTM, and Jada Parker threatens to knock Ren Sinclair out. Jada Parker is too, I understand she started out being like the quote manager, valet, whatever, of OTM. Jada Parker is too good to just be an escort. I don't mean that like that, but just to be like a valet of OTM. She needs to be wrestling. Jada Parker needs to be wrestling. None of this accompanying down to the ring stuff. Anyway, then we finally have our first match. After all of that, then we finally have our first match. And this match, listen, this match should have been on a PLE or New Year's Evil. It was Wesley versus Javon Evans. Wesley versus Javon Evans. This match could have and should have been on a PLE. These two are fire. I said the other day, I said at Deadline the other day, Javon Evans is a star. If he's not a star now, he will be a superstar. And I don't mean in the superstar as in WWE calls everybody a superstar. I mean he will be a superstar. And of course Wesley has a resume, like he's amazing too. The two of these guys just have such good chemistry, and they have a great match. Excuse me. And in the end, Javon Evans plants a hold it in the row to pick up the victory, which is basically him just doing this twisting splash from the top rope. This is, by the way, this is after Javon Evans kicked out of a cardiac kick from Wesley, which was, I know that Matt, we'll talk a lot about. There's too much kicking out of finishers, and I will tend to agree to that too. But I have to say, generally speaking, like that, I understand this. This was a great match. Javon Evans, again, he's a star. He's going to be a star if he's not now. I see him in the main roster in 5 years. 5 years, probably. All right, then we got Axiom, and he said he wanted to apologize to Nathan Frazier for doubting him at NXT Deadline. Frazier says that he owes Axiom a big one, and Axiom wanted Frazier to win the Iron Survivor Challenge really bad. But he would have done anything for his tag team partner, and Frazier tells Axiom that he has to make this right. So then he goes off. Now we've got a little back and forth. Oh, well, we got a little vignette about Josh Briggs and Yukishiki Inamura. Yeah. And apparently they're a new tag team. Josh Briggs went over to Japan and met him, and they connected, but they argue sometimes, but they have a good chemistry, and now they're a tag team. Okay. Again, we need this. NXT needs a shot in the arm with a tag team. We've talked about that before. Then we've got Kalani Jordan telling Sarah Schreiber that Stephanie Vaquer will be just fine. She's getting tired of Roxanne and Cora walking around like they own NXT or they run NXT. They can't even run a lemonade stand in the desert. That was a great line. Kalani says that she'll put her resume up against Cora Jade any day of the week. Then Metaphor comes in and starts poking fun at Zarya and Sol Ruka for losing the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. I mean, listen, do we really want to poke Zarya? Like, okay, I understand Lash Legend is a beast, and I mean that very respectfully. But still, Zarya, do you really want to be poking Zarya? I don't know about that. But Lash Legend says she's not buying Zarya's hype, and Jakara Jackson says that it's giving a delusion that Sol Ruka would stand up for a girl who wanted to rip her head off 72 hours ago. You know what? Strange bedfellows, I guess. But let me tell you, Zarya versus Lash Legend, that will be an awesome match. Let's get that at New Year's Eve. Then we got our second match, which is a tag team match between Hank and Tank and Tyson DuPont and Tariq Igwe? Tyson and Tariq. We call them Tyson and Tariq. This was a pretty solid match. I don't even know who Tyson and Tariq are. And I'm not a huge Hank and Tank fan, although I would compare them to. I would compare them to the old Headbangers from the Attitude Era. But heftier. Kind of like the way they wrestle is just like, I'll run you down, and a lot of throwing the bodies around, that kind of thing. Anyway, this was a halfway decent match. Better than I thought it would be, to be honest. And in the end, we had Hank and Tank winning via pinfall. When Tank connect with hit first, hit last to pick up the victory. After the match, DuPont shakes the hand with Hank and Tank. Meanwhile, Tariq walks out of the ring, and Hank and Tank are like, "Hey, what's up with this guy?" And Tyson's like, "Oh, well, I'll go talk to him." And then they all walk out of the ring. So, anyway, Hank and Tank win via pinfall. Excuse me. Then we have Obafemi come out. And he's going to talk about his Iron Survivor Challenge win. And he says, "Surprise, surprise, the ruler is back. At Deadline, I stormed the building. I knocked down the opposition, I destroyed everybody, and now I am the Iron Survivor. So now, in 4 weeks in Los Angeles, California, at New Year's Eve, I will reclaim my rightful position on the throne as ruler of NXT. And now that brings me to Trick Williams. You know, you and I haven't really officially crossed paths yet, but we've been very dominant in our individual divisions, haven't we? But now I think it's time to find out who the real top guy is. And then Trick Williams makes his entrance, was immediately cut off by Eddie Thorpe. Now, Eddie Thorpe... I guess he's doing his job well if I am completely annoyed by Eddie Thorpe. I hope that's the reason, that's the idea about his character. But Eddie Thorpe is annoying AF, if you know what I mean. He's annoying. And he's also like, he's hyper focused on the Native American thing, which I have no problem with, but he keeps saying, you know, what you guys have done to my people. It's like, dude, your last name is Thorpe. You probably maybe have a 30-second of Native American blood in you, if anything. I don't know how. I'm just being stupid right now. But still, stop. And then in the middle, let me just talk about it for a second. So Eddie Thorpe comes out and says, no, cut the music. This ain't happening now. Oba, I'm not going to ignore what you did to me. Me and my people have gone through enough. You attacked me last week, and you took me out, and the biggest chance for my career is gone. On top of that, you took my place at the Iron Survivor, so where's the justice in that? What, because you're a badass, you can do whatever you want? I'm not going to stand for this. And Oba, I love Oba, man. He's so freaking cool. He's just like, shut your mouth. Do you understand you're making some very bold accusations here, my friend? So answer me this. Did you see me attack you? And Eddie says, wait, no, of course. What? No, of course. I got hit from behind. Have never been hit with so much power. And there's only one person in the locker room with that kind of strength, and I'm looking right at him. Oba Femi says, thank you for the compliment. He's so funny. But I'm done wasting my time with you. And then he turns and goes to Trick Williams. And he goes, and Trick then cuts Oba Femi off and says, I want to talk now. I need you to listen to me because I've been where you've been. The highs and the lows, I felt that. The Iron Survivor Challenge, I won that. And I know everyone here has been waiting to see you and me go head to head. Los Angeles, the city of angels, the city of stars. The two biggest stars NXT has to offer. Trick Williams and Oba Femi will collide at New Year's Eve. That sounds good, doesn't it? Oba, you and me haven't really talked, but I'm glad you're here. See, because the legacy of a title run isn't defined by how long you held the title, it's defined by who you defeat while carrying it. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And Oba says, Trick, you are talking all this noise about being champion, but here's the truth, because I don't think anyone has ever hit you with some truth. The only reason that you have been the number one guy is because I let you be the number one guy around here. As a matter of fact, the only reason there's ever been a whoop that era was because I allowed there be a whoop that era. And the truth is, I've always known this, that whenever I was ready, I would take that easily. And he points to the belt. And at New Year's Eve, it seems that we have a date with destiny, don't we? Oba Femi versus Trick Williams for the NXT Championship. And I promise you, I swear to you, the beginning of 2025 will be the end of your era. And I have to tell you, so I have been saying since September when NXT premiered on the CW that they were riding the tails of Trick Williams as the NXT champion. Well, two things have happened since then. Number one, they are hyper-focused on the women now. To the point now where the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match headlined Deadline. Number one. Number two, Oba Femi. Oba Femi is going to, in my estimation, Oba Femi will beat Trick Williams. Point blank period. That's an early prediction. I could be like Paul Heyman. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. But This is my early prediction, is that Obafemi will beat Trick Williams. And he should. Obafemi he needs to be the guy. He needs to be the guy. And sometimes I always kind of like chasing Trick versus holding the title Trick sometimes. Okay, then we got Eddie Thorpe again. And Eddie Thorpe says, "What the hell, Trick? You're the NXT champion. You're supposed to be the leader here, but you didn't press Oba not once about what he did to me, did you? And here I thought maybe, just maybe, you would give me an NXT title match for the injustices that happened to me, but I was wrong about that. Just like I was wrong about you. So, because you got jumped, you deserve a title match? Okay. See, I used to see you as the man of the people. Everyone follows you wherever you go. But when it's time to check the hood under the Lamborghini, all there is a manufactured sports entertainer. And I know that you reached the top of NXT very quickly, but you wouldn't last 2 weeks in the Japanese dojos that I came up in. So what is this guy? So what? This is the guy that I'm supposed to be chasing? What? A guy that came from Eagles training camp and went into the WWE tryout? Unlimited charisma? I don't care." And Trick Williams cuts it off and says, "Hey man, shut your ass up." That's a quote. I'm quoting. "But because I'm sick of you, I'm sick of all the doubters, the same doubters who called me a sidekick to Mello, but look at me now. The same doubters who had something to say when I fought the Mad Dragon, but look at me now. The same doubters in the locker room who think they got what it takes to see me one-on-one and take my title shot. You think you can take me, Eddie? You think you're the one? Well, good. Believe that, because I got no problem whooping every single ass," again, quote, "inside that locker room. I got no problem doing that, and I have no problem proving that I am what I say I am, and that's the NXT champion. So let's find out next week, Eddie. You versus me. Ava, set it up." Now, so this entire segment, and then Trick Williams clocks Eddie, which, it's not really a very babyface move to do, but I liked it because it was Eddie. I have to tell you, this was a great segment. It could have done without Eddie Thorpe, because I have to tell you, the whole time that Trick Williams and Obafemi were talking to each other, Eddie Thorpe was just standing there looking at them like an idiot. I don't even know why he was there. I don't know why he had to stay out there the entire time. But the stuff between Oba and Trick was great. Thumbs up. Oba's the next champion. That's my prediction. It's a spoiler. Anyway. Then we got Izzy Dame saying that she has unfinished business with Gigi Dolan. Shawn Spears, Brooks Jensen, and Nico Vance prevents Izzy from attacking Dolan, and Izzy says that she doesn't need Spears' approval because she knows how impressive she truly is. Then we've got our third match, Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley versus Fatal Influence with Fallon Henley. So it's JC Jane and Jasmine Nix against Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. And this was a really good match too. All the matches, I have to say, there was no match I was just like stinker. Like, they were all pretty decent matches. At the end of the match, Dolan hits big boot. Dolan tags in Paxley, and Paxley scores a forearm knockdown. Paxley hits two close. By the way, Tatum Paxley is like, some of the moves that she does are very inventive. Like, she's quiet good. You know what I mean? Like she'll do some crazy stuff, like, Tatum Paxley crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, like, some of the moves are just, if you just watch her moves are very, and I have a thing, not a thing, but I like Tatum Paxley, but like her moveset, you're like, whoa, what the heck is that? There's a lot of, whoa, what the heck is that? Anyway, Paxley with hits a double crossbody, follows with an Argentine facebuster, and Henley shoves Paxley off the top turnbuckle behind the referee's back, and JC Jane connects with the rolling encore and gets the pinfall victory for Fatal Influence. After the match, all of Fatal Influence is beating the crap out of Paxley and Dolan, and then Shotzi comes back out. Shotzi comes out to a huge ovation. Huge ovation. Sporting the long hair again. Got the extensions. Looks really good. All green, of course. And Shotzi's awesome. And the three of them, Gigi, Paxley, and Shotzi are just going to be awesome. The three of them against the three members of Fatal Influence, that'll be a great match. Can't wait for that. Okay, next we've got Axiom, who tells Nathan Frazier that he got himself a match against Obafemi next week to avenge him. By the way, I just put my fist in the air like you could see me. Anyway. Frazier feels bad about that because he went to Ava and they got an NXT tag team title match to defend the titles. So now Axiom has 2 matches next week, just like Nathan Frazier had 2 matches on Saturday. The 4th match of the night is for the WWE NXT North American Championship, which is Tony D'Angelo with the family with him against Ethan Page. And Ethan Page is so, like, the looks on his face, the anguish that he has, like, he sells it so good. Like, Ethan Page, I can't imagine he's going to be on NXT that long. Unless he just wants to stay there. Because he was brought in from AEW, and he's too good. His wrestling is great. I'm talking his presence, his demeanor, his facial expressions, before, up until like Saturday, he was doing the all ego thing, which was awesome by itself, and now that just all the anguish he's feeling, you see it on him. He like walks down to the ring. He does the thing where he points to his face like all ego, but he's not smiling goofily like he usually does. It's just, anyway, this was a great match again. All the matches were great tonight, that night. Everyone was great, but at the end, Paige goes for the Ego's Edge, which is basically the Razor's Edge from Razor Ramon. But Angelo lands back on his feet, connects with the Spine Buster, which, Tony D'Angelo's Spine Buster is freaking devastating. And he does the zesty pin for the victory. So your North American champion is Tony D'Angelo. And then again, you've got Ethan just down and dejected, sitting on the ring apron, and it's gonna be interesting to see where this whole thing goes. I tune in to see Ethan Page either be an asshole or be this new character that he's doing. I'm fascinated by it. Then you got Lexis King thanking former NFL quarterback Ryan Leaf for giving him some advice. Charlie Dempsey tells Lexis that he'll get his Heritage Cup Championship match in 2 weeks, but he'll have to attend a special workout next week. So, what's that all about? Back to Ethan Page, who refuses any questions at the moment. He's lost his way, and he doesn't believe that he's all ego anymore. He has no clue on how to get back to the NXT title picture. He's lost and truly ashamed. So, I've already talked about Ethan Page. We're done with that. Then we've got, next week on NXT, we have Axiom and Nathan Frazier with the tag team titles against Gallus, and Zari and Sol Ruka will collide with the Metaphor Girls. It's going to be a great match. Finally, we got Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade against Julia and Kalani Jordan. This was the match that was set up from the opening segment. I was watching this in a hospital room with one of my friends, so I was kind of half paying attention to this match. But what I do remember is it was a great match. All the matches are great. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. The end of the match. So at the end of the match, we have first, Julia and Perez. Jordan rolled Cora Jade back into the ring. Perez was with a spinning back kick. Perez then hits the pop rocks on the floor. Julia blasts Perez with a missile drop kick off the ring apron, and Julia and Perez start battling back toward the backstage area. Jade connects with a double underhook DDT to pick up the victory. So the winner is Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. After the match, Stephanie, now if you remember from earlier what I said, Stephanie Vaquer was attacked by Cora Jade. And Cora Jade freely admitted it, so we know this is not like the Oba Eddie Thorpe thing where we're not sure. Cora Jade freely admitted that she attacked Stephanie. So Stephanie Vaquer comes out and tees off on Jade after the show. Jade starts running away, and then and Stephanie just chasing her down. So it's going to be the women's division. I know I keep saying it. The women's division just has so many layers. It's so deep. Okay, so then we head back to Ava's office, and Eddie signs the contract for the NXT match, and he informed Eva that he attacked himself last week. So that way he didn't have to compete in the Iron Survivor Challenge in order to get the NXT title shot. And so Eddie tells Ava that he will see her in Lowell. So basically, Eddie manipulated everybody to get a title shot. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't care for him. It can't all be peaches and roses, I guess. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. Anyway, so the winner of the actual match, like I said before, was Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. So, solid episode. The matches were all really good. The Shawn Michaels, NXT, whatever, they have such a knack for all of the backstage, like to incorporate the backstage stuff in the in-ring stuff. And I feel that now Raw and SmackDown are taking a page from the NXT playbook. Let me know what you think about that. I honestly think that the reason why Raw and SmackDown are doing it as well as they are now, with the backstage vignettes versus the in-ring stuff, is that and because NXT was doing it so well, and now Raw and SmackDown are doing it well. Anyway, that's my review. Let me know what you think. New Year's Evil's shaping up to be pretty good, and we're still 4 weeks out. So let's see what happens. In the meantime, thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. Ad-free, Patreon, Apple Podcast, or check us out on Spotify. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.